Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is a very rare video I do. I don't usually do a double video in a day, particularly in the second one is a very fast turnaround. In other words, I do my video in one day and I usually release it and I go and check other stuff, but I don't usually do another video very quickly. Usually wait a couple of days because I have stuff I have to do that I'm working on. But in this respect, I felt it was necessary to do this video. I released my Impact review. If you haven't watched it, take a look at it. You might like how I thought about this week's Impact. One of my subscribers, and I believe he is one of my new subscribers, and you know your name. I'm sorry, I'm not good with names, but you know who you are, you know your name, and he said two things to me. He said, dude, do SmackDown reviews, because they're going live, and why don't you check out the Ospreay versus Ricochet, or Ricochet. I can't pronounce the name right. I'm bad with names. Check out the New Japan Pro Wrestling's match, and I believe this is the Super Junior the best of Super Junior 23, and it's supposed to be a tournament. Now I did see about 1 minute of the Deluxe Man video, actually, to be able to pronounce the names because I'm terrible with names, but I didn't watch his commentary review, because he did review and a commentary. I have not seen it yet. I didn't want to get influenced by it because it's easy to get influenced about something you haven't seen yet. And I didn't want to do that. But I did look at the Inquisitor and see what Jim Cornette said, because it was Deluxe Man who said that there was a lot of controversy. Jim Cornette did ring on it, and I did look at his follow-up on it. And I'm going to leave that in the description below, as well as the video itself. If you've not seen it, I did manage to track it down on YouTube, so I'm going to connect them both. Now, before I get started, I want to just state this directly. This is a regional type of match. This isn't just an ordinary match. This is something from New Japan Pro Wrestling, and they cater to a different type of crowd. So take this with a grain of salt. You must understand that no matter if I liked the match or I didn't like the match, I'm going by what I understand by different regions on this planet of how wrestling goes. Lucha Libre is in more Latin countries. New Japan Pro Wrestling does a lot of Lucha Libre, but also a lot of Japanese wrestling. Americans do European wrestling along with American wrestling, and sometimes combining a little bit of Japanese and Lucha Libre. It depends on the person, and it depends also on the promotion. So try to remember this. So the first thing when I did see the match, both these guys, Ospreay and Ricochet, reminded me of two guys. One reminded me of The Rock, and that is Ricochet. His attitude, the way he looked, he had the pattern on his chest that usually not many people would get unless they're maybe Samoan. So this isn't something that you normally would do. This is something that only Samoans normally would do. And I'm not saying that everybody is Samoan who does it, but usually this type of tattoo across the pec is a tribal tattoo that's meant for Fijians, Samoans. They're the ones who usually do it. And next to that, the attitude of the guy kind of reflected The Rock in certain ways. Like the early form of The Rock, when he went into the Nation of Domination, he kind of had a little bit of air of that. Now, when it came to Will Ospreay, he reminded me, and I know you're going to say, dude, he is not like him. I'm just going by my own feelings. Whether you believe it or not, I understand. But he reminded me of Rockstar Spud. He had this rockstar type of attitude, holding up the flag of England, being a Brit, very proud of himself, very full of himself, feeling like he can do anything, but still had some level of respect. But generally, he thought he was a badass. That's what I got from this guy. I don't know if I'm going to connect both pictures of both guys together. I might actually do that. It kind of reminds me of doing that. But essentially speaking, both these guys reminded me of Rockstar Spud and The Rock. But their ring work are totally different from both these guys. When it came down to it, these guys are high-flying experts. And this is where I can see where the controversy is coming in for regular pro wrestlers compared to non-pro wrestlers who are fans or people who are journalists or reviewers. when it comes down to it, a lot of people who love these types of matches are the type who love high impact, well, as the Slug Daddy, flips and the woos and all that kind of crap. A lot of people don't always like that. They want to see more than just one aspect of wrestling. But this is a tournament. There is no real storyline behind this, from what I understand. These guys may have met before, they may have had interaction before, but this is a tournament style. And no matter if this is, and this is kind of universal, no matter if it's Japanese wrestling, Spanish or lucha wrestling, European wrestling, or American wrestling, usually when they do a tournament, the feuds kind of take a back seat in most cases. So you have to remember that. If you don't like the match, you have to remember that sometimes feuds are put to the back burner for a tournament. Unless they're the people who are the most important in companies and they actually go up against each other. Now, when it came to this match, you got a lot of, you didn't have very much grapple wrestling, but you had a lot of high-flying wrestling. Seeing the corkscrew from both Ricochet and Ospreay was very good. Outmatching each other by grappling with high-flying was very good. They kept outdoing one another. And the crowd really helped this. It really gave more of an emphasis, particularly when they started saying in English, "This is awesome" and "holy shit." I didn't expect them to actually go that far with it. I mean, I've seen Japanese pro wrestling a couple of times, even with American or European or Spanish wrestlers. But they don't normally say "this is awesome," at least by my perspective. If it's constant and is going on a lot, you guys can tell me below. But usually I don't see them do that unless it's really good. A match that they think is so great that they had to do it in another language. Also about language, when it came to Will Ospreay saying, "Oh, fuck you. Oh, you rotten bastard. Fuck you, you bastard. Oh, fuck this hurts." It was nice to actually hear guys curse. It felt good to actually hear these guys curse, because you don't normally get it, because cable television in the United States, unless it's rated beyond 17, you don't usually hear people curse. I haven't really seen much of Lucha Underground before. To understand, they're not much more rated than TNA or RH. They don't really have a high rating like beyond PG-17 or basically rated 18 and up. They don't have that. So seeing this in Japan was actually very refreshing. These two truly emphasize and epitomize what high-flying wrestling can truly be. It is an aspect of pro wrestling we've had for the last 30 years, because they've been doing these things for the last 30 years easily. And I know it goes farther back than that. I'm only going by stuff that is now becoming more international. Remember, cable television in the United States didn't start out until the 80s. And many other countries had their form of cable or any type of satellite at the time. So when things were just beginning to come in is when these things have already been known for quite a while. So I'm going about 30 years. And I can tell you this. They epitomize what high-flying wrestling is. For me personally, it was nice to see it. This match was supposed to pit one guy against another. And if you had put this in a pay-per-view in New York with the WWE or TNA, people would have enjoyed it. It was that good of a high-flying match. But with more hardcore fans who want to see more grapple wrestling, more storylines, more feuds, would they enjoy this? Not entirely. And I'm sure as I'm talking right now, I'm also having images fly by right now. I'm thinking about that as I'm doing this video right now. But let's be honest here. What we have here is a niche wrestling match. A very good niche wrestling match, but it is a niche. Because this is a high-flying type of wrestling match. And not everybody's going to enjoy it. And Jim Cornette, of course, he's going to say this is bullshit because wrestling isn't like that. There has to be more to it. This is what the American promoter would recognize in it. that has done ECW, who's done WCW, who's done WWE and TNA. As far as he's concerned, this won't work. And anyone else, I believe, who else had rung in on this? I believe Big Bad Vader, he also rung in on this, and he didn't like it too much. But I'm seeing it from a perspective of all around what it could give to any promotion. WWE, TNA, ROH, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Lucha Underground. What would you get if you had these two guys on your roster? You would have a good moneymaker. You would. There is no way you could ever say Ricochet or Ospreay wouldn't make you some money if you promoted them properly. And here's the thing that you're going to have to take with a grain of salt. If this was TNA, ROH, maybe. TNA and WWE, no. As much as it's not fair to say, TNA and WWE would not promote this properly. They would bury the shit. Because they do not have the mentality of only showing just muscle wrestling. That's what it really comes down for TNA and WWE. They showed the epitome of muscle wrestling. In other words, big bulky guys who do basic grapple wrestling. Some of them will do some high flying. But essentially that's how they feel about it. You got to be a big muscular wrestler to get over. And this is the reason why Ospreay and Ricochet would not get over. They wouldn't. Now, if either one of them go to NXT, they will get over because NXT is more lax when it comes to muscle wrestling, as I call it. They would have a lot of people love it, and they would also have the ability to be able to build true characters and actually have some really good feuds. The way they had their interaction after the match, one getting pissed off at the other, finally shaking each other's hand and saying, I'm going to beat your ass later. You better watch it, you bitch. They didn't say it like that, but that's what you were getting from it. There wasn't much of a story in the beginning. There was no story other than a story of wrestling in the middle and the end. And after the match is over, you did get a small piece of personality from both of them, which I'm not... Please remember, this is New Japan Pro Wrestling. They're in a tournament. They're not going to be generally showing their characters and their feuds. So showing what they show is not going to be as strong as you would like it. You're going to see it for what it is. And a very, very good aerial wrestling match. And I did enjoy it. But I know 100% TNA will not promote it. They will bury it like they've done with the X Division. WWE will not promote it. They won't just bury the guys. They'll also humiliate the guys. Look how AJ Styles is going to be done. I know a lot of people want to say AJ Styles, he's not going to get buried by the WWE. There's a good chance he will. Look what John Cena has done to everyone. And I'm not blaming Cena. This is what Vince has decided himself. But this is my point of view about the match. What did you feel about the Ricochet and Ospreay match? Because I'd like to know. And I hope you enjoyed the Zane's view. Please give me a comment below. My allergies are really messing with me right now, so I'm very sorry that I botched. This is not one of the things I normally do. I don't normally do videos after I do a video, particularly that my throat is itching really bad and my eyes are itching even after I take my medicine. This just isn't good weather for me. Tell me what you'd like me to do next. Another Booking the Wrestler, another video like this. I already know that one person wants me to do a SmackDown review. I've actually been considering, since I have been watching NXT lately, I might actually consider doing an NXT review or two once in a while. You guys tell me below. Have a good day and have a good night. Peace!